Hey guys, Average Joe the Average Geek here, and I have an unpopular opinion. Netflix's Death Note was good. It was. It was, despite all the vitriol and hate that you're seeing online today, because apparently the internet is the home of contrarians, where in order to get as many clicks as possible on your article or what have you, you have to hate everything. And I'm here to assure your mind that Netflix's Death Note was actually pretty good. Was it perfect? No, but it was good. So let's talk about it. Got some notes over here and all that kind of stuff, so I'm gonna be referencing the notes. First, a little background. I'm an old school anime fan from the '80s, '90s. Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, movies like Ninja Scroll and Akira and Vampire Hunter D and the first run of Initial D and Robotech and Voltron. That's my era of anime. So the new stuff, a lot of the new stuff, I don't get. Like the heavy fan servicey stuff and all that, I just didn't really. I don't get that kind of stuff. It's not my cup of tea. So I kind of avoid that aspect of anime. That being said, I'm about halfway through the Death Note anime series, and I'm digging it. It's got an old school vibe with some new school flavor on it. It's really cool. It's got a really interesting story, but I haven't completed it. I wanted to before the Death Note live action movie came out, but I'm actually kind of glad I haven't finished it yet, so I could enjoy the Netflix movie for what it was, which was a really interesting flick. Uh, it's kind of like a Breakfast Club meets Murder Fest kind of vibe to it. It's got some horror elements were really cool. It has some really creepy elements. But mostly it was just really cerebral and really interesting, and it had some really interesting themes that it kind of dealt with in that show. Let's see. Things that I liked about it. It was shot very well. It was shot very slick in the way it was presented. The framing was good. The color palette that was used was very interesting, and there were some really interesting stylistic choices in how the director chose to tell that story that you'll see throughout. The Ferris wheel scene, uh, a lot of the chasing scenes, the way he shot the L character in particular was very interesting. I thoroughly enjoyed that aspect of the shot. It's a very well made movie, technically. The music in it was great. Like I said, it's kind of got that breakfasty club vibe, with the light pop songs and teenage angst in the music. Especially with the homecoming dance vibe and all that kind of stuff. It was very well shot. Um, the acting in it was pretty good. Uh, Maybe Mia was a little the actress that plays Mia was a little wooden at times, but Nate Wolf, the guy that plays Light, and I can't remember the actor that plays L, but they carried the movie and they carried the movie well with the incomparable Willem Dafoe as the Death God Ryuk. And Willem Dafoe is one of those actors that's great in every role he's ever played, in every medium he has played it in. You can't go wrong with Willem Dafoe, and him playing a character like Ryuk, the Death God, fantastic. I mean, the voice acting alone was great. He really brought a lot of weight to that character. He made the character feel menacing, a little Joker esque. I think Willem Dafoe should be Joker at some point. I think it would be a disservice to the world if Willem Dafoe doesn't get to play the Joker at some point in his career. That needs to happen. Has to happen. Um, Willem Dafoe was easily the best actor in the movie, and like I said, he brought a lot of weight to the Ryu character, which was very well designed and almost exactly the design aspect anyway was almost exactly as he is presented in the anime. Very well done. And I loved how the movie kind of kept him in the shadows. Like, you never got a super clean, full color view of the Ryuk character. Unlike in the anime where you see him all the time, he's used much more sparingly in the movie, which is a good thing. It keeps the tension high whenever that character's there. Like Willem Dafoe is just fantastic. His portrayal of Ryuk was freaking sweet. One of the things about this movie is that, and in adaptations as a whole, is when you're crossing medium like this, like the anime itself runs for 37 half-hour episodes, so you're talking 17, 18 hours of story, where you can take this long form approach to tell the story of Light and his ascension to godhood and how he deals with that, which is essentially what the story is. And you're distilling that down to an hour and 45-minute feature film. It can't be the 100% accurate, truthful representation of the anime, which people wanted. People wanted to see every episode and every moment from the anime put on the film. You can't do that. You can't do that when you're adapting stories. It's not how it works. That's why you always hear that the book is better than the adaptation of the book. Well, that's just by the nature of how the stories have to be told and the medium they're being told in. You know, with a book, you get into that third-person omniscient where you can get into their mind and you can see the nuances and stuff like that of the characters. You get to spend more time with the characters. And as a reader, you get to put your own pathos into that character. You can see more of yourself in that character when you read the book. With film, you're taking the vision of the director, and you're taking the vision of the screenwriter to get a version of that story. So it's going to be just necessarily different. It's just the way it works. So you need to distill it down to what is important to tell the story. And the important part of the Death Note story is the struggle between Light and L. And what does it mean to have the power of a god? Because that's it. That's the core. The character Light Turner in this one, and it's not whitewashing. It takes place in Seattle, Washington. There are white people in Seattle, Washington. So it's not whitewashing. So whenever you hear that argument, just immediately dismiss it for the crap and the baiting that it is. You want to know what's important with the story, and the important with the story is this character Light Turner discovers the ability to be a death god. He gets the ability to determine who lives, who dies, and in what manner they're going to die. And what does he choose to do with that? And once you have that power, how does that power change you as a person? Now, I kind of feel that we wish we had maybe 20, 30 minutes more to tell that story. The story did move very, very, very quickly. But it hit on these points. Which is the key of the story. That's what the story is about. We have to discuss that idea. So when we see things like Light experimenting early on with killing the bully at the behest of Ryuk, which is a little departure from the anime, to Light killing the man that got away with the murder of his mother. It's hard to imagine that anybody in that circumstance would do anything different than what Light did at the very beginning. You know? I imagine that's probably what I would do with that kind of power. I mean, ask yourself that question. If you had the power to do that, what would you do? Would you make different decisions than the Light character? I'm willing to bet the answer is no. Challenge yourself with that, and ask yourself that question when you're watching the anime, reading the manga, or hopefully you're enjoying the Netflix movie. Now, that's the most interesting aspect of the story. But when you frame that with the the battle of wits, and the battle of good and evil with the L character, who is portrayed very, very well, very neurotically in the live action. You get some really interesting thematic things to play with in the story, and it really makes you think. Really makes you think, which is the entire point of film and literature. Um, yeah, like imagine being that guy that goes, okay, I can rid the world of evil. I can do what government cannot. I can do what law enforcement cannot. And I can just start offing human beings. The pedophiles, the rapists, the murderers, the drug cartels, the human traffickers, the politicians that suck. Yeah, I can just rid the world of them. And then maybe people would worship me as a god. You know, as Nietzsche said, power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely. And what more absolute power is there than the ability to determine who lives and who dies? And then control people for up to 2 days leading up to their death. The things you could do with that amount of power is unbelievable. And, well, light exercises that power. And just some gory effects. The gore in this movie wasn't overpowering, but it was very well done. Very well done practical gore effects, which when you see them, they hit, and they hit hard. Especially like for quick example, not spoiling it too much in the movie, but when the Kenny Doyle character is killed, which we know that happens because of the teaser clip that was released a few weeks ago. It's very well done, and it's very visceral, and it's just as an old school horror fan, it's just a very, very good effect. I loved it. My only real complaint with the movie is the pacing. It moves very, very, very fast. Because, like I said, they're cramming an 18-hour story into an hour and 40 minutes, which in itself isn't a bad thing. But from the moment Light receives the Death Note to when he makes his first kill is 11 and a half minutes. Once it gets going, it goes very, very fast. Like I said earlier, I really would have liked maybe 30 minutes, 40 minutes if they were feeling ambitious, to maybe flesh things out a little bit more, to kind of take their time with it. But that's a minor complaint. I kind of hope for a director's cut in the future, and Netflix really doesn't do director's cuts, and it's probably never going to happen. But I think an extended cut of this movie would maybe be a little bit more well received than the film seems to be. Of course, I'm at the point now in my life where if the internet says something sucks, chances are it's probably actually pretty good. I don't really trust, which is ironic because I'm giving you a review now of a film, so I'm asking you to kind of trust my review. But in all actuality, I'm asking you to go to watch the movie for yourself and make up your own opinions, as opposed to listening to the contrarians out there, which are just determined to destroy anything and everything. Yeah, it was a good movie. It was a good movie. I'd probably give it a 7 out of 10. A 7 out of 10 is a good, solid, good movie. Is it a great movie? No. Does it have some pretty great parts in it? Yeah, like Willem Dafoe. I mean, come on, guys. It's Willem Dafoe. He's great in everything. So it had some really great parts. Overall, it was a really good movie. It had a couple of missteps in the pacing, but you should definitely check it out. It's definitely worth watching. I give it a 7 out of 10. Which is a decent score. It's not a bad movie at all. Definitely check it out. Definitely check it out. So yeah, that's my review of Netflix's live action Death Note. I'm gonna stop this right here, and I'm probably gonna go start finishing the anime. Why not, right? Very good stuff. Definitely check it out. Average Joe the Average Geek, thank you for watching. If you like my stuff, please like this video. Subscribe to the channel. I'm going to be doing more of these movie reviews, especially off of Netflix. I'm thinking of doing like a random Netflix of the week review. You know, it's like, hey, this was a good sci-fi story. Hey, this was a good horror story. Check it out. Yeah, let me know what you thought about Death Note in the bottom. Did you like the movie? Am I just completely off base? Am I talking out of my ass right now? Or let me know. Let's talk about it. That's what this platform is for, and I love your comments and feedback in the bottom. Give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, and I will talk to y'all later. Average Joe the Average Geek. Peace!